Hey, how's it going? This is going to be a quick video on how to set up VS Code, get Copilot running or GitHub Copilot running, and just how to use it, just some basics around that. So to start with, you'll want to go to the VS Code site and download it for your OS. I have Windows, so I've already clicked download. And another thing is you'll need a GitHub account. You don't need the paid subscription, but it might be helpful for you later on if you want to upgrade to that, but you can use the free subscription. So to start with, we will open up the installer, go through pretty much the defaults except when you get to this page. In this page, I recommend that you enable these two options. It just makes it so when you're in the File Explorer, you can right click inside of a directory or on a file and just open it up in VS Code straight from there. So I'll give this install a second. I'll be right back. All right, the installer is finishing up. That took about 10 seconds. And we have VS Code open right here. On your first install, you'll probably be prompted with a sign into Copilot button right here. This isn't my first install, so it's showing me this. But either way, you should see a sign in button just like this. We're going to click on that. That's going to redirect you to an authentication page to authorize your GitHub account. So you'll need to sign in here. I have signed in already, so I'm just going to click continue. And then in this pop-up, you'll want to open up VS Code. So we'll give this a second for this little loading circle to get through, and that should get us logged in. Awesome. So VS Code is set up with Copilot. We can see the little icon here is lit up. I'm going to make a YouTube directory, open that up, and then from here, I'm just going to show you a few demos here to just get used to Copilot. The install is pretty much complete. So to start with, we'll do just a main.py and do something like function to reverse a string. And you can see it's already giving us completions. I can hold control and use the arrow keys to select one word at a time, or I can do tab to select that whole completion. I'll do enter, and it's already giving me the suggestions here. So that's all I really needed, and I will close that, save that, and that's how you do the inline code completions. You also have the ability to highlight something. So I'll highlight this, do Control I, and ask it, can you give the variables a more descriptive name? And that'll give me a code completion. Here's the changes highlighted. I'm just gonna click accept. That's good to go. If you're writing something like a README, I'll open a README in Markdown. It may not do the completions for you. This is a project. Here you can see it's giving me the completions, but if for whatever reason you're in a file or an extension like Markdown and it's not giving you the completions, just click the drop down next to the Copilot icon, go to configure code completions, and make sure it says status ready. If it doesn't say status ready up here, you'll want to click this. This will say enable completions instead of disable completions. So just click that, it'll be enabled, and then the completions will work just fine. Another way to interact with your code is to open the sidebar. Once you have the sidebar open, this is the chat window. There is really two ways to interact with the Copilot here. There's the ask mode, edit mode, a couple of different settings as well. But it'll show you what files the Copilot can see. Since we have the main.py here open, I can see the little eye icon here. I can click it to hide it from Copilot's context, and I can manually add in files as well. But I'm gonna ask here, can you make this more complicated? And we'll see what that gives us here. Oh, I just tapped the mic. I don't know if you hear that. So here's a more complicated version, but as you can see, it didn't change it here. We'd have to copy and paste, or click this little button up here to apply to main, and it'll use the LLM to go through and apply the change to your actual code. So here's the changes, and we're just gonna click keep to accept that. The second mode is the edit mode. So we'll switch to that and we'll create a new chat. And in here, it can actually cause edits, or actually edit the files or directly, or create new files for you. So I can say, can you convert this to a Flask project? And this is going to give me a Flask project here, and you can see it's directly making edits, and it's going to give me the option to either keep or remove it. So I can keep here or click undo to go back. I'm just going to click keep here. And this also has the ability to work with multiple files. So I can either click here and add files, or I can say hashtag readme. It adds the readme into the context as well. And I can say, can you update the readme for this project and split this py into a run.py and a routes.py, which is kind of like a Flask terminology, I guess, or Flask structure. And we'll see it's able to do all of those for us, including creating those new files and updating them. So we'll give this a second. So starting with the README here, you can see the little loading light, or the loading circles. It updated the README. It created a run.py, created a routes, and it gives us the option here to keep them. So either I can click through each one and keep them separately with all those options, or I can just click keep here. And with the new updates, as soon as you click keep, it's going to save all these files. So those files are done. I can click done there and close out the chat. It also can have context in the terminal. So if I'm in the terminal, I can do Control-I and ask it to do something here. Can you list the files in this dir? And obviously that's something simple, but maybe you don't know how to do that in PowerShell, and it can do that for you. So that's the primary ways of doing it. So we went through the install, set up Copilot, learned how to enable the completions if it's not for a specific file you're going or using or writing in, I guess. And we also went through just the basic ways of interacting with the Copilot, with the chat, inline, and the inline chat as well. So if you have any questions, just drop it in the comments below. Either me or somebody else, I'm sure we'll get to it. And if not, happy building. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.